Welcome to Hockey Wiz Talks podcast. Today I'll be talking about my observations I have noticed about the conference finals in the 2022 Stanley Cup Playoffs. In this podcast, I talk about my observations I noticed about the conference finals matchups in the 2022 Stanley Cup Playoffs. Eastern Conference matchup. The New York Rangers lead the Eastern Conference matchup against the defending Stanley Cup champions 2-1. The Rangers jumped out to a commanding 2-0 lead in the series thanks to their dominance on home ice and their prolific power play, which is now the best in the NHL amongst teams still in the playoffs. Tampa Bay won Game 3 at home, giving them life in the series, and showed why they are the champs. Make no mistake about it, Igor Shesterkin has outplayed Andrei Vasilevskiy, and has clearly been the better of the two goalies. But to be fair, Shesterkin's defense has also played better in front of him than Vasilevskiy's has. One thing that is very noticeable in this series is that the Rangers' speed and transition game at times can be overwhelming for the Lightning, as their defense are having a rough time containing their speed. Tampa Bay did a good job neutralizing the speed of the Rangers in Game 3 by sustaining pressure deep in the offensive zone, but the issue of the Lightning's age is going to start to show the longer the series goes on. It will be interesting to see how the rest of the series plays out, and if the Lightning can pull off the comeback yet again, or if the Rangers can overcome the odds and punch their ticket to the Stanley Cup Finals. And now a word from our sponsor. Check out my scouting blog at hockeywiz777scouting.com. Listen to my scouting blog podcast on anchor.fm/hockeywiz777scouting. Western Conference matchup. The Colorado Avalanche have a commanding 3-0 lead over the Edmonton Oilers in the Western Conference Finals. It is very apparent when watching these games that Colorado is the better team and is a more complete team from top to bottom. Despite having to play a backup goalie in Pavel Francois, the Avalanche have managed to neutralize the Oilers' top players, while getting production from key role players like JT Compher, Darren Helm, and Valeri Nichushkin. From the Oilers side of things, it seems very apparent when watching them play Colorado that they are too reliant on getting their offense from the top guys. So if those players are shut down, they can't get offense from anyone else. I know Darnell Nurse is playing hurt, but he has actually been their worst defenseman in this series. To think he is getting paid more than Cale Makar. To think that he is going to be paid more than Cale Makar is kind of ridiculous, because I don't know anyone who would rank the two in the same category of defensemen. I think Colorado has this series locked down, bearing a disastrous meltdown in the next 4 games. If Edmonton does get swept, it will be an interesting offseason for them. For Colorado, they will look to advance to the Stanley Cup Finals and to win their first Stanley Cup in over 20 years. Check out my hockey blog at hockeywiztalkshockey.blogspot.com. Follow me on Facebook and Instagram at hockeywiz777. In my next podcast, I preview the Stanley Cup Finals.